Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over some interesting PlayStation news. If you end up enjoying the video, drop it a like and consider subscribing. So the first topic in the video is a update for God of War Ragnarok. So we're going to be reading from PlayStation Universe where it says God of War Ragnarok is a far more brutal and violent game than its predecessor. God of War Ragnarok combat designer Mahir Sheath has revealed that the upcoming sequel will be a far more brutal and bloody affair than its 2018 predecessor. Quote, "We have increased the levels of brutality in God of War Ragnarok considerably, and I think that's something that makes certain aspects of the game more fun. In God of War 2018, when you get the Blades of Chaos, you don't get many chances to see these weapons do the kind of things that they did in the classic God of War. The way they took down enemies was very brutal, and that it's something we wanted to bring back in God of War Ragnarok. So the system that allows you to stun the enemy and grab them with R3 to execute them is much more brutal now and uses much more the axe and the Blades of Chaos to perform the executions," unquote. And so yeah, I mean, this is obviously very good to hear. I mean, in my personal opinion, God of War 2018 is still pretty brutal. Like, it's very bloody. But obviously it's nowhere near like the original God of War games, because I'm pretty sure you could like rip enemies in half and stuff like that, and so it seems like they're bringing like the original God of War like gore and stuff into God of War Ragnarok, and also it seems like apparently whenever like that R3 button prompt comes up to where you can do like an execution like in God of War 2018, like whenever you would do it to like the elves, Kratos would just take their spear and like throw it at them or just stab them into the ground, and when it comes to like, I forget their names, but Kratos just like rips them in half. So it seems like in God of War Ragnarok, you will use your axe and also the Blades of Chaos to do executions, and so I can't wait to see what those look like. And so yeah, what do you guys think? Down below, let me know your thoughts on how apparently God of War Ragnarok is going to be a lot more brutal and violent than God of War 2018. Moving on to the final topic in the video, we're going to be going over some very interesting news that might be hinting at The Last of Us Part 3. So we're going to be reading from PlayStation Universe where it says The Last of Us Part 2's Laura Bailey is open to returning as Abby. Laura Bailey, the voice actress behind Abby Anderson in The Last of Us Part 2, has revealed during a chat with Comic Book Movie that she is open to portraying the character again if Naughty Dog revisits the franchise with a third game. Quote, "I would definitely go back to her. I know there was a lot of drama and response to her character, but it was one of the most influential roles I've had in my life. I would 100% go back to play more Abby if the opportunity came up. The series looks amazing and I cannot wait to see more of it," unquote. And so yeah, I mean, this kind of came out of nowhere. Apparently Laura Bailey, if Naughty Dog ever makes The Last of Us Part 3, which, I mean, they're going to 100%. I don't know if it's going to be their next game or, maybe they're making a new IP and then doing Last of Us Part 3, but it is a guarantee that they will make The Last of Us Part 3 at some point in the future. And a lot of people have already made like their theories for what the story could be like for Part 3. And a lot of people are like, oh, like it should be about Ellie and like the cure and stuff. And I've always thought that it should be about Abby and Lev, and more focused on Lev, but still bringing like those two back and focusing on them. Yeah, hearing that Laura Bailey is wanting to come back to play Abby again in The Last of Us Part 3. This is like the only news that we've gotten that even somewhat hints at a Last of Us Part 3, even though Neil, like shortly after Part 2 came out, he said that they already wrote like a rough outline of the plot of The Last of Us Part 3 if they ever make it. Hopefully this is a sign that maybe Naughty Dog is already starting to think about making a Part 3. In general, it's kind of crazy that like Laura Bailey would come out and say this, because I don't think this is very controversial. I mean, I feel like Abby from The Last of Us Part 2 is probably the most like divisive and hated character in video game history. I mean, if she's not the most, she has to be like top 3 or top 5, especially when the game came out. And I was actually on that side too. I literally could not stand Abby. I hated her so much, and then as I played the game like 5 more times, then I actually started to understand Abby's perspective, and I actually love Abby as a character. and that's coming from someone who, my all-time favorite character is Joel. So that says a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, just the hate that Laura Bailey, like the actual actress, got. Like, she got death threats and absolutely terrible things from idiots on the internet. And this is actually, like, very, like, brave of her to come out and say this. Like, hey, like, I would definitely want to come back and play as Abby, even though I got death threats. I think that says a lot. And so, yeah, without carrying this on too much and dragging this out, what do you guys think down below? Let me know your thoughts on how Laura Bailey came out and said that she would love to come back in The Last of Us Part 3 and reprise her role as Abby. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it informative, drop it a like and hit the subscribe button by turning on the post notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. Until next time, guys, take care.